Does Raya have what it takes to stand out from the current Disney slate, or is she dragging behind the competition? What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. This Friday, Raya and the Last Dragon comes to Disney Plus via Premier Access. It also comes to select theaters. I need to know your thoughts down below. Are you excited for this movie? If you like this review, let me know. Drop your thumbs up, and let's get right into this. And I want to say thank you to Disney for providing the screener for this film. Okay, in a reimagined Earth inhabited by an ancient civilization, a warrior named Raya is determined to find the last dragon. And the lore here is what got me really excited. The idea of these humans and dragons living together in harmony, but that's not the case anymore because these sinister monsters that came about started to threaten the Earth, and long ago the dragons had to sacrifice themselves to save humanity. But that's not what this movie's about. This is 500 years later. Those same monsters, they're back, and Raya is the warrior that has to go on the journey, track them down, figure out how she's going to fix this, but along the way she makes friends, and she kind of brings together a very different group of people, and that was the entertaining aspect of this film. But I want to start with the voice cast. The voice cast is genuinely great. You know, anytime you have Awkwafina in anything, she is going to crush it, and she absolutely does that as Sisu. You also have Gemma Chan, Kelly Marie Tran as our lead character in Raya, Benedict Wong, who provided an excellent voice, and Daniel Dae Kim giving a very emotional performance. And all of those voice actors come together to create, I think, one of the most interesting voice casts of any of the modern Disney films. Now, the one differential you're going to see with this movie compared to other modern Disney movies is the lack of music. I mean, we have the score, but we don't really have any musical numbers. And I won't lie to you, I love me some musical numbers in Disney, whether it be Mulan or Moana, Moana being one of my favorite modern Disney films, but you can also get away with it too, like a Wreck-It Ralph. And I do believe Raya and the Last Dragon does genuinely separate itself from that. Now, were there moments where I said to myself, there could have been a musical number there? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think that takes down the quality of the film. That's just me being needy. Now, I will admit, it wasn't until we caught up with the storyline when I started to really get on board with that. We do get, it's not technically a flashback, it's just kind of learning who Raya is as a person, and then we get into modern day. Learning who she was, while interesting, and it did establish a lot of aspects of the story, it did feel a bit familiar. And no, it's not the obvious Avatar: The Last Airbender comparisons, even though they're definitely there. Within the first 5 minutes, they established that this land has been broken up into different groups, and each group, they feel very differently about certain things. And then obviously you do have Raya, who does kind of feel like Korra, so those comparisons are absolutely there, but that wasn't my issue. It was more so just the familiarity of it all. I've seen this before, and then you get somewhat of an element in there that is a very consistent element across all of these Disney movies that you can see coming from a mile away, so the predictability did start to hurt it, right? But then you get into the actual story and what this movie is truly about. I liked the landscape when we catch up to modern day. It's like this sort of post-apocalyptic-esque-ish feel to it. It almost feels like a Mad Max in animated form at times, and the idea of these different groups after this one thing, that creates a lot of intensity, that creates a lot of things you may not expect going into a Disney animated film that is still very much for family. This is centered around the idea of trusting in one another, building up somewhat of a family in the movie. So if you're asking, well, can my kids watch it? Are they going to be okay with it, even though it does get more intense than other Disney movies? Absolutely. But you still get some epic action scenes, and maybe some of the best action scenes I've ever seen in a Disney animated film. I would say Mulan, and I would say Raya and the Last Dragon. And those scenes are very well constructed. I like the choreography, and I can feel the intensity between whoever's fighting on screen. So that was really cool. And then it's just this mystic landscape. You have dragons, you have all of these things that happened in the past, how they come about, how they affect their future, and we're on this mission. We have to do this, but it all comes down to believing in one another and putting your differences aside, and I think that's a very important message right now. There's one character in particular that makes it very hard to trust them, and even I, as an audience member, was hesitant. I'm like, I just don't know. I don't know if they're going to do the right thing. And the character of Raya, you feel that within them. You feel the idea that I don't think I can trust this person, even though this situation really requires me to. So how does all of that play out? Well, it's very interesting, and I like the way they did it. And finally, the visuals. I think the animation here is stunning. There are a few creatures within this movie that I'm just like, I'm a Tuk-Tuk stan now. All right, I need me some Tuk-Tuk action figures, some pop figures, because that character is just the cutest. But it's also a really cool character. It's kind of like Appa from The Last Airbender. I want one. But because you have a lot of fight choreography, they have an opportunity to showcase what they can do from an animation standpoint. And the backgrounds, really the production design on an animated level, all of that is really cool. And this was just a cool idea in general, and I'm so happy I got to see Disney do a movie like this. So before I give you guys my score, appreciate you big time for watching. Leave your comments and thoughts below, and let me know if you like this review. This film is packed with gorgeous animation, interesting characters, and a heartfelt story built around trusting one another. And even though it takes a bit to get going, and it's not a perfect Disney film, thankfully, it is one that I believe is worth watching. I'm going to 76% with my score. Raya and the Last Dragon is coming this weekend, and I need to know, are you guys excited for this film? This is not the only Disney video I'm doing this week. I will be doing a modern Disney movies tier list, and I haven't done a tier list like that in a while, so that's going to be fun. Let me know if you guys are looking forward to that. Appreciate you for watching. Stay tuned. More reviews. The finale of WandaVision this weekend. I'm so excited.